afternoon and welcome. And again, offload, beautiful ball, back inside Martin. He beats one, beats two. Goes to Doak, he dances round, long ball, goes across to Buckman, puts it on the toe. He kicked through, followed through, regathered. It's catch, drop, scrum. Scored the try. And as the flags go up, picks up, hit the foot race, he's ahead of Barber. Will he go there? I think he got there.
Well, there were plenty of doubters, but guess what? The Ipswich Jets are still alive in the Intrust Super Cup semi-final and finals race. Hello and welcome to the Full 80, a complete overview of the Intrust Super Cup and Ipswich Rugby League competitions. My name's Ben Dobbin, and with today I am joined by the best in the business, Greg Jacko Lyons, the marketing manager for the Ipswich Jets Rugby Leagues Club. Royalty here, the Ipswich Rugby League's operations manager, Brendan Rose.
Thank you.
He's been in hiding for a week because he keeps on breaking stories that no one likes. Peter Bedell from the Courier Mail, and the super coach, the man who broke the hoodoo, Shane Walker. How are you, boys?
Very good, mate.
Well, week one of the Intrust Super Cup finals are done and dusted, and the qualifying semi-final, the big one, the East Tigers versus the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. The East Tigers defeated the Seagulls 18 points to 12. Jacko, how'd you see it?
Mate, the game opened up really good for Wynnum, which was good for them, but unfortunately some great play by some of those outside players like Walker and Kinnear. Kinnear's got to be a danger man for them. But yeah, they came back and really held it to them.
Pete, Trigger, he was playing it down all week. He was talking them down. But the Tigers, they are a dead-set premiership threat.
Yeah, absolutely, Dom. I mean, the sign of a good team is a team that learns from its mistakes. And the week before, they were beaten by Wynnum, and I think the mistake they made there was playing too lateral. They tried to go around them rather than through them. They learned those lessons. They bounced back within a week. And I think after conceding the first try early, they showed a fair bit of resolve and fortitude to hold into the game and then overturn the tide and then dominate the second half. So they're a real force to be reckoned with. And they got the big guns to get home, absolutely.
Did you see that result going the way it did?
Yeah, well, the week before, East had done enough really to win the game. It was only in the final minutes that I guess they threw it away. Yeah, we anticipated another tough tussle, which it was.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting game anyway when the Tigers, they go up to Northern Pride. We'll talk about that a bit later. But in the game that everybody was watching, the mighty Ipswich Jets defeated the Tweed Head Seagulls 28 points to 10 in what some are describing as an upset, but the Walker boys said it was a lay-down misère. It was always going to happen. Congratulations. You must have been happy with the result.
Yeah, we were. We were really, really happy. As you said, we've never won at Pigabeen, so even though you go down there with different teams each year, it's a hoodoo that we haven't broken, and I guess the boys never really thought too much of it. They're confident, they're playing well, so it was great to go down and get a good result.
Jacko, did you have any worries at all?
I was a little bit concerned, but once, you know, Nem and some of those guys fired up on the outside, and there was a great try, a full-length try, I think, from Wes. Or Marmon, and it was just, you know, all of a sudden I could see the bells ringing, and then, you know, quite a few penalties by Tweed. They're obviously frustrated, and we saw the end result with the captain being sent off, you know, on his retirement game, which isn't a good ending for him.
What about Dobbo super coach, the Walkers? They've broken the fortress, 13 games unbeaten at Pigabeen. They're gone, that's gone. You've never won.
Never won.
Gone. So, but it's a credit to also, I think, one thing I liked, Matty Parcell, his direction and composure at a dummy half, Shane, I thought that gave you guys a lot of composure and then set the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And I spoke last time I was on the program, I said that I think he's the best hooker in the comp.
Yeah.
And just about across all comps at the moment, he's an outstanding prospect, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have him here next year.
No, he won't be with you next year. I can tell you that. He will not be there next year. He's going to the NRL.
Oh, right. I thought you might have said that East were going to steal him.
Actually, Trigger's on the phone now. Triggs is ringing.
What, mate, this bloke's true to form. The Ipswich Rugby League semi-finals commenced on Sunday, and Brothers defeated the Fastlefern Bombers. This means Brothers through to another grand final. Brendan Rose, tell us how you saw it.
Yeah, well, there's another one for you. Brothers in the last 9, I think, IRL grand finals. They haven't gone back-to-back for a while, so they'll be really keen. But the game on the weekend, Fastlefern Brothers, you know, Peter was talking about teams learning from their mistakes. Probably about 2 months ago, Fastlefern played Brothers down at Brothers and gave them a towel up that Brothers probably haven't seen in years. Brothers looked at the tape, they've come back and they were able just to dominate the game. Brothers had all their rumours out all week that half their team was injured, and then fancy this. They must have gone to church on Sunday and they were healed and they were out playing on Sunday.
Yeah, the Catholic club.
There you go. So they were playing, but hats off to brothers. They really dug deep, and once again, Jace Connors really got them around the paddock and did a great job.
So North's brothers, Sunday afternoon, 3:15, North Ipswich Reserve. We're going to review that game, but from an Ipswich Rugby League point of view, it's probably the game you guys wanted, the top two teams of the competition.
Oh, mate, they have been probably throughout the year. I couldn't say they were the two best teams through the whole year because the A-grade comp this year has just been backwards and forwards, but the four top teams. But, mate, that is going to be a cracker. North supporters will come out of the woodwork. They always do when they're in the final, and it's a replay, I think, of the 2006 grand final, which we heard was one of the biggest ever. So.
Yeah. Look, on an issue with the Ipswich, it's a shame. It's the Jets, obviously, they still play on, and they're in the Channel 9 game, which we're going to talk about on Sunday, but it's a shame that they clashed with the Ipswich Rugby League Grand Final because the talent that you guys have drawn out of this IRL competition over the time, we're talking about it off air, the Parcells, the Clelands, the Conlons, they all come from this, and it's a great nursery.
Yeah, it is. It is a shame. We did offer Wynnum to play the game at our home ground.
Oh, really? They didn't
obviously,
like that?
they didn't want it. But yeah, look, there's a number of players throughout the IRL that we've got our eyes on for next season. So, you know, hopefully they can fill a few gaps that potentially could be left.
Yeah, we as an IRL are disappointed about it as well, mate. Last weekend, you know, there was Gold Coast Grand Final, junior finals, Gold Coast semi-finals on, and then the Jets had to play Tweed. And I know a lot of guys down at the field would love to have been and watch them, you know, but unfortunately...
You can't do everything, mate.
No,
you can't do everything. Still plenty more to come. After the break, we're going to go to the talking point about who the best player in the Intrust Super Cup is. We're going to take a look at the highlights from that incredible victory over the Seagulls. You're watching The Full 80. A break and back with more. In the history of the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets, they have never ever been successful playing the Tweed Head Seagulls at Pigabeen. Sunday afternoon presented itself to be the greatest challenge in the history of the club. And you know what? The Jets passed with flying colours. The crew from Phoenix TV was there to capture all the highlights.
In a highly anticipated game, the Jets travelled down to Pigabeen Sports Complex to face off against the fourth-placed Tweed Head Seagulls. Going in as underdogs, the Jets knew it was a must-win game to keep their finals hopes alive, and that's exactly how they played.
Hi, Colin. How do you think you went today?
Yeah, it was a good game, pretty hard. I thought I went good for myself, and the boys just grind out in the middle there, and just full credit to the forwards, just pushing it out and just working tirelessly right to the end.
After the first try, the Jets didn't let up, making the Seagulls more and more frustrated, with some sloppy penalties leading to some fights on the field.
Yeah, it was quite rough, but we came down here under no illusions. That was our first win here in 13 starts. I think it's 14 starts today, actually. Boys having a bit of fun in the background there at me. Good on you, Kurt. Yeah, no, we knew it was going to be tough. As you can see, the guys take it personally. So if one of our boys goes down, it's one in, all in.
Among the loyal that came to support the Jets at Tweed, a former Jet and current Bronco, Martin Kennedy, watched as his former teammates and friends scored a convincing win over Tweed.
How does it feel to really support your team?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, you know, obviously all the boys here, they all love their footy and they're all here for the right reasons. So it's a really, really tight team, and you know, such a great club to be involved in. And yeah, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
The Jets were just too strong in the end, beating Tweed 28 points to 10. They play Wynnum Manly this weekend in a sudden death minor semi-final at 1:30 p.m. at BMD Calgary Oval in Wynnum.
Well, obviously the Jets are up 28 to 10 over the Tweed. Our first win here at Pigabeen in 13 appearances, so it's a really special day for us. It's something we don't do very often, obviously. It's great to see USQ down here as well.
This is Zach Logan reporting for the Full 80.
Fantastic footage from last weekend's game of football down at the Tweed. Congratulations to the Jets. They just keep on getting better and better. Talking point, boys. This week is the Intrust Super Cup Gala Awards night. Player of the Year, Pete Bedell, who's your tip?
Yeah, Dobby, look, I think if he went on talent alone, I think you'd say Cam Munster. You know, he's been outstanding again for East Tigers. He's only played 12 games, half the season. He probably hasn't polled enough points, obviously. So he finished 4th last year. He won't be up there this year. But I think the guy, a smoky, could be Luke Page. I think it's South Logan. It's a great story at the start of the year. Cut by the Titans, went to Burleigh. Then left Burleigh mid-season. He's now at South Logan. He's been outstanding. He's given them some real go-forward. So keep an eye out on him. I think he could be right up there.
You know, it's funny you say that. The day that South Logan came to Ipswich, and it was an unbelievable game. I think it was 40-40, you know, right on the bell. And there was a kick for the Ipswich to win. They didn't. But to me, everybody was talking about Jordan Rapana that day. I know that's the day that Ricky Stewart saw Jordan Rapana in the flesh and said, we've got to get this kid full-time. But to me, Luke Page that day was the hero. He was by far their best. He was so strong. Matt Parcell, where does he rate in this? Like, to me, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, he has been Ipswich best and he has dominated the competition.
Yeah, it certainly has. You know, without being too biased, but that's what we do on this show. We are biased towards Ipswich. But yeah, look, Matt Parcell's he's had an outstanding year. So has Kieran Lander, Namani Velakapa. They're all three guys could poll quite high.
Yeah. What about up in the Pride? I mean, the Pride, Zach Santo, those kind of guys. Jacko, are they going to poll?
I'd say Santo could. He's pretty strong for the Pride. I'm going to say my favourite, although, you know, I'm still biased, but I've got to look outside the square a little bit. I'm a Gary Lowe fan. You know, for what they have done this year, for their first time in, they've presented a well-performed pack, and they just missed out, which was unfortunate. But they were a strong side, and they lost a couple of players through the year to the NRL. But also, you know, Gary Lowe was out injured at the end, but you know, he just did some wonderful things on the field. Yeah, look, I think there's plenty of players we can talk about. Stay out of this one. Coach of the Year. Pete, who would be your coach of the year? I know you're tight with Trigger and also Jason Demetrio. You're very tight with those blokes.
Well, co-coach is a band, so Shane and Ben Walker, they're gone, they're out. Sorry, Shane. But, mate, I think I'd like to see, look, they'll probably give it to Demetriou. I mean, minor premiers by, 6 or 8 points, Northern Pride, been the best side for 2 years. He'll probably get it. But I'd like to see Michael Murray at PNG get it. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job to come into the comp first year, miss the finals by a point. That's a remarkable effort. So I'd like to see him get it, but I think JD will probably get the gong.
Who's your tip, Coach of the Year?
Oh, mate, I have to go with the 2 Ipswich guys. But no, outside of that, I think you're right with the PNG. I think a lot of people underestimated the amount of work that they had to do to even get a team onto the paddock and then get them competitive, and then the boys get used to that grind of week in, week out. We know they got the talent, but what he did up there is a really, really good job. But I'll be honest, I'd love to see Ben and Shane get it.
Yeah, Jacko?
Ben and Shane.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Say this now. No, I'm going to say this now, and stay out of this, please. To me, with what Ipswich were touted at the start of the year, everybody was writing you guys off to be at the bottom of the competition. Now, we're not trying to... We don't have the budget that some of these other teams have, and that's just through, you know, fiscal circumstances, nothing more. But for what you guys have done to get the side, I mean, you're 2 games away from a grand final. To me, I don't know how they judge it. I don't know if they do judge it. Jason Demetrio at the Pride has done a fantastic job. He's been re-signed, and that is a warranted re-signing. He's got NRL coaching sort of aspirations, and I think eventually he'll be there. But for what you guys have done, I would say I would find it hard to not pick you guys, and that's from my point of view as just a punter who knows not a lot about it.
Just a little bit on that, Dob. I think we were talking about those PNG boys bringing them in, but I think that something that was underestimated with Ben and Shane is they've brought 4 or 5 boys from the local comp that were playing, you know, park football, and it's a good comp in Ipswich, but he's brought them into Queensland Cup, and a guy like Josh Clearland is starring in that quality of football. Matt Parcell. Yep, you know, and I think that's underestimated.
Well, I think the big thing too, that's a good point, and an adjunct to that is the way you've refashioned Ben Hannon and Martin Kennedy, 2 NRL guys, came back from the Broncos. They were down in the dumps, they were gone. And you've lifted their confidence, and also Marmon Barber, who's got 20+ tries. So we're really campaigning here for the Walker boys, aren't we, guys?
Yeah.
But
who would you pick if it was? Obviously, you go and pick. Who would you pick as the coach who you think has done the best job this year?
Yeah, look, I think obviously Demetrio's done a good job. Andrew's done a great job up there, and
Jason, Andrew's his brother.
Sorry, yeah, of course. But Michael Murray from PNG, he's as Brendan said earlier, outstanding job. I don't think they had a lot of time to put the team together and put everything around it, but he's run a really tight ship and made them highly competitive.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be some rewards coming eventually for PNG. It's only a small... They know now the week in, week out grind. There was a couple of really tight games that they probably let slip on the road, and they've got some superstars there. They really have. Look, we're going to take a short break, and after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to preview the second week of Intrust Super Cup finals, and also the crew was down there at Pigabeen and they did a great job looking and talking to the fathers for Father's Day. Stay tuned. You're watching The Full 80. Yeah, welcome back to The Full 80. What a weekend it has been when the Jets got up, and, you know, to top it all off, it was Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. Pete, what did you do for Father's Day?
Boys, you won't believe it. I was up at 4:30 a.m. I ran the bridge to Brisbane. Yeah. And I did 44 minutes. So, Shane, if you need a winger, if you need another Wes Conlon, sign me up. I'll play for 220 a week.
You wouldn't have done it in 44 minutes, Pete.
I did.
Really?
It was a little bit inflated, but anyway, yeah. It was more like an hour and 4. But anyway, sign me up.
How was Father's Day for you before the win?
Yeah, no, very good.
Brekkie in bed?
Not brekkie in bed, but I got bacon and eggs. And, my little daughter gave me one of those magic balls where you ask it a question and it replies with an answer. Yeah. My wife didn't want to ask any questions about the footy, that's for sure. She didn't want to hear a no too early in the day. So.
Mate, are you going to take it on Sunday?
Pardon?
You're going to take the magic ball
Hell
on Sunday?
No, it's not magic at all.
Did you
Magic's on the field, not in the ball.
What did you do with the old man, mate?
Mate, the old man come down. We were down at the North Ipswich Reserves for the finals. Dad's a bit of a football tragic, and he come down and watched some games, and we ended up at Brothers for a good steak after it. So always good.
Jacko, Father's Day?
Had breakfast with a couple of my kids in 44 minutes. I made the bacon eggs last. Mate, I'm here now.
Took you that long to eat it.
Slowly. What I have got to say to my two, thank you so much for the Brisbane Broncos money box and glass. I was that happy, and the barbecue set. Couldn't be happier with them. I love you lots. Now listen, the big thing was the crew from Phoenix TV. They gave up their Father's Day and they went down to Pigabeen and they did a package on the fathers down there. Take a look.
Sunday's game wasn't just a semi-final, it was also Father's Day. Community sport gives dads a chance to connect with their sons over a game they both love, whether it's from the sideline or on the field. James Wood from the Tweed Head Seagulls just played his 200th game for the club. He says he was proud to know his dad was watching him from the sideline and cheering him on.
As a family, we're feeling very proud. His mother and his sisters and grandmothers will be here today. Yeah, so we're all very proud of James. It's a tremendous achievement to play 200 games. So I think even more special that it's with one club.
What has been your role as a father in that journey through league?
I guess just to support. I was involved in the junior league club with him and his brother when they were playing, and always maintained quite a heavy involvement in that. I think it's tremendously important for young men to play a team sport, and I think that they make terrific mates and they make contacts that last them forever. So I guess my involvement's just to be a supportive father through that period.
Steve Parcell, a father of Matt Parcell from the Ipswich Jets, says he can't think of a better way to have spent his Father's Day than to watch his son play league.
Matty's been up there for a couple of years now. I just think in the last 2 months, 3 months, I think he's gone to another level, and his performances in the last couple of months have helped the team a lot, and also I think they're setting him in good stead for the future, and maybe it might open a few eyes and people might start having a look at him there.
Hopefully, and of course you yourself played for the Ipswich Jets a couple of years ago now. What sort of legacy have you passed on to Matt from that?
I've just been a supporter of Matt. I don't go and preach football or anything like that, but during their childhood they did grow up in a football house, and which sort of points them in that direction. But Matty's a kid who whatever he decides to do, he puts everything into it. So in other words, he's 100% dedicated, and even his performance the last couple of years have come from his, the way he looks after himself and just his training ethic and all that sort of stuff. So
watching your son play on the field, of course the game that you used to play yourself, would you say that it was the perfect Father's Day for you?
Yeah, exactly. Even the whole day itself, like the footy was a win, which was good, and now we'll get out to go and we'll go out to dinner and have a couple of beers for Father's Day, so that'll top it off nicely.
I'm Eliza Wheeler, reporting for The Full 80.
Yes, thank you very much, Eliza. And I'll tell you what, this weekend's major semi-final, isn't it going to be a game? The Northern Pride, they play the East Tigers, 5:30 at Barlow Park in Cairns on Saturday, the 13th of September. Boys, how do we see this one? Pete?
I reckon the Tigers can get them, Dobbo. I think they did it last year, this time of the year. They beat them up there. So I don't think they'll be daunted by the occasion. A big blow, though, for the Tigers. They'll be without Dane Hogan, who's been their best player this year. He's done rib cartilage, so he could be gone for the season, which is a massive blow.
Mitch Garbutt, is he back?
He's back. Yes,
So,
Mitch Garbutt's back, so they cancel each other out. But Dane Hogan's been outstanding for them. He's just a real workhorse, so they'll have to overcome that. But the Pride without their two starting front rowers, that's a setback. But, yeah, they won't be daunted by the occasion, so I think the Tigers can get them.
Jacko, how do you see it?
Well, probably the same as Peter, because, you know, Pride missing those couple of guys are really going to, and it has proven in the last couple of weeks with some of those games being pretty close, that, yeah, I think the Tigers could do them. But once again, you know, as you said, with those injuries, and they suffered a lot of injuries on Sunday, the Tigers, so whether they back up again will be interesting.
Yeah, look, the Pride didn't have a very good semi-final series last year. I can't see them losing on Saturday, and I think they're almost certain to be in the grand final, and from there it's any man's guess. The game that everybody's waiting, the elimination semi-final, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls versus the Ipswich Jets. This will be a telecast game on Channel 9, 2 p.m. at BMD Cougarai Oval. The Chook Pen will be flowing, and geez, it's going to be a good game of football. Supercoach, are you talking yourself up or talking yourself down?
Look, we're confident.
Yeah.
The boys, yeah, we beat them in the first round. We had a number of players out that week. We had the guys like Carly and that back up from local leagues. So and then when we went to Wynnum last time, we didn't play great, and you know in the final second of the game had a chance to level it or win it. So. Our boys certainly don't hold any fears about going there. We know exactly how they're going to play. The likes of Ben Cronin will take Mitchell Fry to the line and hit him on a short lead. Big Dylan Smith, they'll be looking for tight offloads from him, and Matt Seamark will put up a bomb at every opportunity. So their form's very exposed. We know where they're at. We're very confident.
Yeah, I think, and you say you should be. Dobbo's crystal ball, we love the crystal ball every week. I'm going to make the prediction that the Pride will win in the major semi and Wynnum will be starting their Mad Monday come the following Monday. The Jets will win. Looking forward to the IRL, this is going to be a game and it will be covered by Phoenix Radio on the web and streaming through your Facebook page on the IRL. Brothers versus Norse, who's your tip?
Mate, I'm going to sit on the fence here.
Come on.
Oh, there's no fence sitting here. Sitting Brendan on the full 80.
The winner of this game is going to be the battle between Jace Connors and Josh Roberts. Those two are the best two players in our comp, and I think Norse by 4. I've put myself on the line here.
The operations manager for the Ipswich Rugby League is supporting Norse. He's not sitting neutral, he's supporting Norse. That's full time. Thank you to Jacko, Brendan Rose, Peter Bedell as usual, and Shane Walker, the best in the business. And you can remember, if you'd like more content or behind the scenes footage, go to facebook.com. It's all on Facebook. /the Full 80 TV, and you'll be sure to join us next week when we go to the Full 80. Bye for now, and go the Mighty Jets.